Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Health Optimization Medicine podcast. We have our faculty here, Dr. Jup, Dr. Ted, Dr. Allen. This is Dr. Scott. I'm talking about myself in the third person. You've all got entitlement. Okay, anyway, nice to meet you guys. Be with us today. Thanks for being here. I don't know if I can do it. Okay. It's great to be back with all of you today. What are we going to talk about today, guys? We're going to talk about fiber. Fiber minimizing, fiber maximizing, fiber maxing is the trend. Dr. Ted, you know a lot about fiber. In fact, I think you've called it the fourth macronutrient, right? We have proteins, carbohydrates, fat, and then fiber. Talk to me and talk to us about fiber as you understand it and see it.
Fiber is actually a class of carbohydrates, right? And there are two forms of fiber. The class is soluble fiber, that which actually breaks down into your calories. And there's insoluble fiber, those that add bulk to your stool. And they both have their place in the human diet. You're supposed to consume about 34 grams of fiber a day, right? So, and most people don't look at the dietary component of the things that they buy, right? Of course, if it's fresh food, there's also that's actually published, right? For the weight of the fresh food that you buy, you could see how much fiber there is. But in many of these bars, etc., you could see, I was there, the initial generation of high fiber bars, and they tasted like cardboard. And then now they actually have almost perfected the flavor. There's still that cardboard background, but they're palatable. But the thing is, you actually are required to drink a lot of water with them, which people don't do, right? So and remember, there is a concept of net carbs, right? Net carbs would be the number of the total carbohydrate intake minus your insoluble fiber, because remember that the soluble fiber counts for your carbohydrates, and that's a proper computation for this. And it's actually a pity because in my practice where I lecture doctors, they don't even realize that fiber is a form of carbohydrate, and second, they don't even know what net carbs are. That's a shame for us, and that's actually a shame for medical education, because we only have 6 hours of nutrition, which sucks literally, right? And then that's why we take a look at everything as in the disease lens, right? And who was it? The famous philosopher who said, food is your medicine.
Yeah, we took an oath, I believe. So yeah.
Yes.
You've heard of this concept called fiber maxing before?
I have, but can you explain to me exactly how that works?
So there's this trend out now where, so Ted mentioned about 34, 35 grams of fiber a day is what's recommended. But there's a trend on trying to maximize the amount of fiber you have on a daily basis. So you have your psyllium husk, you have your acacia powder, you have your green drinks, which don't have a lot of fiber, et cetera, right? And then you're getting to a place where, like, hypothetically, you're going to feel better. But can you see a problem with this potentially?
Are people reporting feeling better with this?
Some people are, but not everybody. Why would that be the case?
I can definitely imagine this being a problem. So I also work in family medicine, and a lot of people come to me with gut problems, gas, bloating, whatnot. And our current healthcare system doesn't really have
IBS kinds of
things, right? It's a bucket term, a diagnosis of exclusion, irritable bowel syndrome, and they often get referred to a gastroenterologist. They do a lot of testing, maybe even a colonoscopy.
Probably back end, but
exactly,
endoscopy,
and they find nothing. But what they fail to realize is that we can now actually measure your gut microbiome and see exactly the bacterial constitution of that gut microbiome. Now, if people have too little microbes in their gut, giving a little extra fiber is good. It feeds the bacteria. But if people have bacterial overgrowth or short intestinal bowel overgrowth and you give even more fiber, you just pile on the problems. So I can imagine people doing this trend to be very gaseous and bloaty,
flatulating.
So don't just fiber max, I would say.
How is your flatulence sound?
Yeah. Speaking for our gaseous listeners, So what I'm hearing is the take home point, Dr. Jup, is if you are already experiencing bloating, dyspepsia, like fullness, you're having discomfort after eating, perhaps fiber maxing is not the right course of action for you. And that might be an indication to see your friendly local neighborhood
I would
health
say let's do
organization.
fiber optimizing.
Fiber optimizing. Tell us what that looks like.
Well, if you measure exactly what your gut microbiome looks like, you can see if what you eat, can you actually digest it? Can you absorb it? Are there maybe too much bacteria in your gut? Is there bacterial overgrowth? Are there certain pathogenic bacteria there, or certain commensal strains that are good for you but are actually in too high quantities? Is all the families of bacteria and they're in the right ratios to each other? And then you can decide, do I need more fiber? Do I need less fiber? Or do I need probiotics? Many people just pound probiotics, not even knowing if they need it, or if it's maybe they have leaky gut, and this can actually add to immune stress in your gut lining. So we can now measure these things, guys. Do it.
Yeah, my first exposure to fiber maxing, that was not the term then. We just used too much fiber. Was with a non-athlete, right, who took over 60 grams of fiber a day, and she basically stopped menstruating. And if you look at it from the get-go, it's like there's no correlation, but there is. Estrogen has an enterohepatic circulation, meaning it goes out of the bile to get reabsorbed. So when you have too much fiber in there, it will adhere to your fiber, and it will it will drop the estrogen levels, and your patient will stop mensing. So and this is actually also true for female athletes who like to be lean, right? And they up their fiber intake. And aside from the fact that their testosterone levels also rise as female athletes, they also tend to fiber max and then drop their estrogen and their menses stop. Now, to come to the gist of fiber maxing, really, the first effect that you'll have, of course, is what? Bowel obstruction, right? Because you can't poop anymore. The second one is that they do tend to bind minerals. It's called the mineral heist, the great big mineral heist of that.
Heist?
Yes, heist, yes.
I like that.
And then we shouldn't forget also that too much fiber will cause fermentation, right? And then if you have all the side effects of fermentation, although we humans like something fermented like beer. And then the last big thing is the caloric displacement, right? Instead of filling your stomach with something that has nutritious
Nutritional.
carbohydrates, proteins, fats that are needed by your body, you starve your mitochondria by not providing them food. So you're lower in energy and so on. So, and that's what's called caloric displacement, right? So it's really very simple. Keep your fiber intake to 30 to 40 grams a day. Stop relying on those bars for your fiber, and hydrate relentlessly. It's very important that if you have a high fiber diet, you have to drink a lot of water.
What would be the optimal forms of fiber for a healthy diet, in your opinion?
Personally, my favorite forms of fiber are green leafy vegetables, right? Others will prefer other vegetables, but I like leaves. I'm more of a rabbit, I guess.
Part of the interruption. This episode is brought to you by the 4th Annual Health Optimization Medicine and Practice Conference, happening October 2nd and 3rd in Chicago, Illinois at the Drake Hotel. You are all cordially invited to something that's not a typical conference. This is truly a community, and you'll feel that the moment you walk in. This is not wellness aesthetics, not disease management, dressed up in optimization language. This is actual, rigorous, measurable, deeply human health optimization. And it's a small group. Only 150 seats are available. Soluble, and we've already sold out a lot of these. It's going to be an intimate gathering. If you want your ticket, you need to get it soon. We have a great lineup of speakers, including Dominic D'Agostino, JJ Virgin, Kiran Krishnan, Dr. Ted Achacoso, who's the founding pioneer of health optimization medicine and practice, myself, Dr. Scott Sherr, Lucia Aronica, an epigenetics researcher, Elizabeth Yurth, and many more. If you're a medical practitioner, we'll have at least 5 CME credits for you. And this is a room that's going to generally change how you practice and I think how we all live. So if you want a discount, we do have one, but it's only for a short period of time. Go to homehope.org and save 25% on your conference ticket by using code conference25 at checkout. That's homehope.org, code conference25 at checkout. Get it soon because we're selling out fast. I hope to see you there. Take care. One thing I think is important too, as we talk about fiber, like why it's important, right, is that fiber is the food for the bacteria in our gut to feed on, to break down, and to create what are called short chain fatty acids, right? And you can measure these in stool, looking at, there's 3. There's propionate, acetate, and butyrate. Butyrate is the one that's probably the most important because butyrate is the one that is known to be a epigenetic signaler. So it helps with modulating your DNA in various ways to make you healthier over time.
And that it has already been studied that its low butyrate levels are correlated with colon cancer.
Right. And then there was an article a number of years ago called Super Poopers, and Super Troopers, and people that live longer have more butyrate in their stool.
I actually just had a client who had severe bowel issues for years, and he had the lowest butyrate I've ever tested in a gut test, and supplementing it gave him relief in weeks.
Yeah.
Just night and day difference.
Well, why is that, right? Because butyrate is the primary fuel of the large intestine. So if you don't have the fuel powering the cells of your large intestine, you're not going to do as well, right? And then glutamine, of course, is the primary fuel of the small intestine too. So you have to think about these things. When you're trying to repair somebody's gut, you have to think about the fuels that run the gut, run the system itself.
And the fuel for the heart is love. It's not glucose. To the cardiologists out there, it's not glucose, it's fatty acids, guys.
It's love, though, right? Love. Love is always the answer. Yeah. So I think when we think about the gut, we think about it as an immune system too, right? That's another big piece of it. How much of the immune system is in the gut? I think it's around 80% or so, right?
Yeah. It's it's mediated by the gut-associated lymphoid tissue, right? I like to say this, when you're in med school, the largest immune organ was the bone marrow, right? And then 50 years ago, they changed it. The largest immune system, that's now the gut. And we didn't learn anything about it.
The gut was something that you killed with antibiotics in school. You gave people C. diff. And thankfully, that's changed a lot. And we know that there's a lot there. Do you have something you want to say?
Oh, no, you're right. And then, we gave them C. diff. And then we never taught them how to replete their healthy commensal flora.
Yes.
And then they hear about fiber maxing, and then they eat a bunch of fiber and they feel achy and unwell. Perhaps is there a new condition? Maybe we need to coin fibromyalgia. Perhaps.
You heard it here first. Fibromyalgia. And we'll give you that. And so the key really is that we can test for all this. And Jup, you were mentioning this. And I think that's what we do at Health Optimization Medicine. We look at the gut, looking at maldigestion, looking at dysbiosis, looking at metabolic imbalance, inflammation, infection. You can look at all these aspects of it and go, okay, this is what's actually happening. And then you can have an intentional way of actually optimizing it. But at least from my experience, I think you guys can probably, to chime in, is that it's not like it's an immediate process for people. It can take time. And sometimes even ramping down the fiber in the beginning can be helpful as you're looking to optimize the system. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that, but
what is necessary here is the concept in health optimization medicine is always about balance, right? Remember that we're not just balancing a single ecosystem here. These are sub-ecosystems within your gut. They are of different species. They feed on different parts of your food separately. So they grow or contract according to what you feed them.
I always like your rainforest analogy about the gut. How different populations have their real estate in the forest.
They have their niches, right? And so they have their hunting grounds and so on. It's just like any other regular ecosystem. That's why it's true. You are what you eat.
Well, I think we can wrap it up. Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Health Optimization Medicine Podcast. We coined a new term. Thank you, Alan. Fibromyalgia. Fiber maxing, I think, has just been replaced in my.
There you go.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.